Good evening. It is a delight to present the next 2012 Volunteer of the Year Award to a man of many ideas, a man of service, a man named Rich Marsoun. Rich Marsoun joined Brilliantine in 2010, and being a product of a family of theater professionals, he was enthused to serve in any area he was needed. And boy, was it good timing, because Brilliantine needed a set designer who understood what Brilliantine was all about. He was such a breath of fresh air, and just the talent I needed to make the show board relieved about the vision of the Wiz scene design. Rich continued to work with us in Greece, and what was extraordinary about his service in Greece was his creative influence on the youth set design and paint crew. It was so empowering to walk into King Lab on Saturday and Sunday mornings and see Rich providing guidance and instruction to the youth about their creative tasks. What was different was his approach, and they were actually doing the work. They trusted him, and in turn, he demonstrated trust in their vision and their skills. Even if they were confused about using tools or unhappy with a certain design that they created, he coached them through the confusion and encouraged them to either start back over because there was time, or he asked what their ideas or solutions were. The results were these magnificent works of art on stage. The hallway, the trees, the lockers, the greased lightning car, the Burger Palace signs, they all created on their own. And when the cast arrived and saw the set pieces, they were so complimentary of their peers' work. Moreover, the actual stage and set design crew were so proud and almost conceited with their work and seeing how well that their work was actually received. Rich made each crew member feel accountable, artistic, involved, respected, and enriched. And he was like a big brother to them. He looked out for them and asked about their well-being and made sure they were making good choices and balancing their Brilliantine schedule with their life and their school. It was what Brilliantine is supposed to do to the youth. In addition, Rich has volunteered with the Spring Appeal and has recruited other adult volunteers for Brilliantine. He participated in the 4th of July parade, and as an employee of the Y of USA, he has traveled to many Ys and bragged about the McGaw and Brilliantine work. Rich deserves the Volunteer of the Year Award for his devotion to youth development, for walking the mission of McGaw YMCA and sharing the story of McGaw YMCA, as well as his excellent service leadership with Brilliantine. Richard Marsoun, congratulations, and thank you.
Good evening. Sean Murphy. If I am going to start to tell you everything that I want to about Sean this evening, we might be here until 9 o'clock, and I might give Bill a bit of a challenge this evening in time. But they told us to keep it short. Sean, I cannot thank you enough for your timeless effort in helping us with the negotiations of the lease with the Archdiocese. I feel guilty this evening that it is only in 2012 that we acknowledge you as the Volunteer of the Year, because Sean's work with us actually started in 2008. And Don Tarkington, the chair of the Strategic Planning Committee, at one stage said it was easier to negotiate peace in the Middle East than to negotiate this lease with the Archdiocese. Sean was just amazing, and when I sometimes really got irritable and overexcited, Sean just said to me, Sonja, just calm down, we will sort it out. And yes, in the end, we negotiated a lease with at least 13% lower than what the Archdiocese wanted. Sean, thank you very much for that. Then we said we want to look for a satellite because we have a wait list of 150 children. And again, I could phone Sean and say, Sean, I need your help. I can run the children's center, but I know very little about realty. And Sean just said, Sonja, what a pleasure. We started negotiating, and it took about a year and a half. And we just got to the point where we got the realtor and the owner to give the location to us at the price that Sean worked for tireless for years, when we at the YMCA decided that it is not the right thing to start a satellite. And Sean just smiled and said, that is your business decision. I understand that. Sean, I want to tell you, if I had to pay you for your expertise and for your help, the budget of the Children's Center would have looked much, much different. Thank you very, very much for your time, your love for the McGaw YMCA. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonja. Next, I would like to recognize one of our middle school volunteers, Roberto Ansani. Roberto, please come up to the stage. Roberto has been volunteering in our aquatics department since the fall of 2011. He has attended lifeguard and swim instructor trainings, committed to helping with weekend classes, and assisted many teachers with their swim classes. Fellow staff had commented on Roberto's enthusiasm in class and willingness to always learn more to become a better teacher and assistant. Roberto, we're thankful to have you as a volunteer in our aquatics department. Thank you for all the support and assistance you have provided our swim instructors over the past several months. And now I'd like to recognize one of our Camp Echo adult volunteers, Maureen Davis. Maureen, would you please join me up on stage? Over the past year, Maureen has given an amazing amount of time for Camp Echo. She has helped run our Leaders Club for area high school students and helped out on our off-season excursions, which include mountain bike trips, ski trips, and service opportunities. Which reminds me, Maureen, if you ever need additional staff support, please let me know. She also has been a crew chief for the past 2 high school work weekends, while also attending adult work weekend. Maureen, you set a wonderful example for other young alumni of Camp Echo, and we really could not have accomplished so much without your involvement and dedication. Thank you, Maureen. Finally, I'd like the group from Accuity to come up on stage. These folks represent the Accuity and Action Team from Bankers Accuity Corporation. Last fall, Accuity contacted me to set up a meeting to learn more about volunteer opportunities at the McGaw YMCA and how their company might get involved with some of our programs. They first began by hosting a couple of tables at our annual International Family Festival. Those who attended the event might know them as representing Italy, Bulgaria, and Spain, and boy, were they a hit. In addition, Accuity offered to partner with our youth mentoring program, Project SOAR. The program directors for Project SOAR met with this group this past spring, and it was decided they would host a project for youth in the program to participate in. Just before Easter, they brought everything that was necessary to create Easter baskets for a homeless shelter. Our Project SOAR youth came during their spring break week to make cards and put the baskets together with volunteers. Along with supplying the volunteers, Accuity also brought all the supplies for the project, and pizza too. Staff really enjoyed the enthusiasm and friendliness of the volunteers and the way they were able to connect with the Project SOAR youth. Since the spring, McGaw YMCA staff and Accuity volunteers have been working to put together a grant request to provide Project SOAR funding for a couple of programs in our next fiscal year. One of the requirements of the grant being that Accuity supplies volunteers and participates in the events that are funded. It is a true partnership, and we are grateful to get to know such a wonderful group of volunteers. Thank you, Accuity. And I'd like the volunteers just to come out to center stage for a moment, and we'll snap a group photo. And now, in addition to the volunteers who were recognized this evening, I would like all the McGaw YMCA volunteers who are present in the audience to please stand and be recognized for your hard work and dedication to the McGaw YMCA. I recognize some folks from Brilliantine, Project SOAR, a lot of board of directors, and also staff volunteers. Please stand for a moment so we may recognize you. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge the Volunteer of the Year Award Selection Committee. Sue Soul, Shundrice Tucker, Mary John Gerard, Meredith Stevens, Beth Clemson, and Jessica Seance. Thank you for your participation on this important committee. Thank you to all of you. We truly could not do what we do without you. And now I'm going to hand it back over to Kirk, who will continue with our evening's agenda. Kirk?
At the risk of embarrassing Michelle, I want to say that I've been on the board now, entering my fourth year. It just goes so fast. But the one thing that I've seen in Michelle is I've seen a blossoming, a growing, a leadership. I've seen wonderful mentoring from Matt Johnson, and she's really a future leader in the staff and also in the Y movement. She's been very active with the younger generation Y movement and the Y, and she makes us proud. So, Michelle, you've done a wonderful job. And commendations to Matt, really, for being a great mentor and working with Michelle.